Hello, welcome back to a new video. I'm on my record now because I don't want it to be a whole month since I'm uploaded, since I'm about to go on vacation. So here we are. We're gonna rank Pixar movies. Pixar is one of my favorite studios. It has some of my favorite movies of all time. It's time to rank them. Let's start with the absolute worst. You know what? No, we're gonna go in tier list fashion, not ranking fashion. Let's start with Up. Up is a good movie. People overshadow it because of the beginning. I still really like it. There's Doug, which is probably the one of the best characters in Pixar ever. It's a fun time, but people always overshadow it for the beginning. I'll give it a B tier. It's kind of in the middle. It's not too great, but it's not bad. Next, we have the first Toy Story. This is the worst Toy Story. Well, it's the funniest. It's still a really good movie. It's just that there's a few stuff that holds it back from topping the other movies, the other Toy Story movies. And I know that a lot of people are gonna disagree. Toy Story 4 is even better. And because Toy Story 4, despite what you might think, is a really good movie. I'll give the original Toy Story A tier. Next, we have Monsters University. This is a good film, but it's not too good. Second half can be a slog. First act is only solid. It's still a good movie, but I won't give it too much. I'll put it bottom of B tier. Finding Dory is one of the most overrated movies in Pixar's lineup, but it's a great movie. I love the movie. It's probably my favorite Pixar sequel that is not a Toy Story sequel. I'm gonna have to give it the classic bottom of A tier. Finding Nemo. I put at the middle of these two. It's a bit better than Finding Dory since the side characters are all memorable. It's really funny too, but it has a lot of gross out humor and stuff that doesn't make it all the way. Bottom of D tier. This is the worst Pixar movie ever and one of the worst animated movies ever. If it was from any other studio, it would probably be in B tier. But because it's Pixar, this is put in D tier. It's such a bad movie. It's so dumb. I mean, you already know all this. I don't think I even have to explain why it's the worst one. Next, we have the original Incredibles. Of course it's going in S tier. The original Incredibles, while not my favorite, is probably the best one. I love this movie. It's so fun, so creative, and it's directed by Brad Bird, kind of like the next Pixar movie on here, which will also be going in S tier. Such a fun movie, very creative. Also, it's not really, for kids, kind of like the first one. Plus, The movie feels very indie, which is kind of nice. And that directs right into The Good Dinosaur, the complete opposite. I'm putting it at the top of D tier. I don't think that's Pixar's worst, but it's far, far, far from the best. It's not a very good movie. Next, we have the original Cars. I'll put it at bottom of C tier. It's not too good of a movie, but it's still pretty good. But far from the best. Cars 3 is the best Cars movie. It's still bottom B tier, though. A very messy movie. And it's still pretty boring, but it's the best Cars movie. It's decent. A Bug's Life is very charming. But it does have some problems, like that liar reveal plot and stuff. But still a pretty good movie, and it's very, very charming. Next, we have The Incredibles 2. I'd say top of C tier. Oh my goodness. There's so much about this movie, but so little at the same time. It's pretty funny and pretty high stakes, but the villain and stuff are pretty lame. Dash doesn't really have a story. Violet's storyline in this movie is lame. They kind of cut out the Bob's like thing where he's like, "Oh, I want to be a superhero." I'd put that top of C tier. WALL-E is my favorite Pixar movie. It's such a fun movie. Despite barely speaking, these robots are able to has really good character. It's such a good movie. It's a great movie. It's my 4th favorite movie of all time. I'd recommend that movie now. Monsters Inc. is the funniest Pixar movie. Oh my goodness. Why is it so funny? Like, you had to laugh every time at this movie. Such a good movie. Inside Out is top of A tier, is like mid A tier probably. I'm not sure. It's still a really good movie, but there's a lot holding it back from being great, especially plot holes. But still, it's such a fun movie. Also, I feel like it has a lot of bad faith criticism. People are like, Toy is the bad guy. She's not. Next, we have Coco. Let's put Coco top of A tier. This is the best Pixar ending, and it's such a good movie. It's the best Pixar movie from the 2010s, and it's so fun until the ending, until like the last act where they have a really good twist of villain. Then the battle is pretty good, and then they have the best ending of any Pixar movie. I love it. Toy Story 2 is S tier. I don't like it as much as everyone else. I like the 3rd movie better, but it's the best Toy Story movie. Not my favorite, but the best. This movie has indie pacing for half of it. It's a fun adventure when we come back to Buzz and the rest of the toys trying to rescue Woody. Overall, it's such a good movie. And you gotta give Pixar props, because this is probably one of the most best success stories out of any Pixar movie, or just in cinema in general. It's such a troubled production, and they still got it so good. Gotta give them credit. Toy Story 3 is, I would say, right under Monsters Inc., but a bit better than Toy Story 2. In my opinion, Toy Story 2 is still better. It's just not my favorite, like I said. Such a fun prison escape. It's very clever. That ending gets me every time. It's the second best ending to any Pixar movie. And overall, it's a really good movie. Brave is middle of D tier. Very boring movie. I mean, that one scene is fine, but other than that, just very boring. You can't really have much fun, in my opinion, with it. Next, we have Onward. It's a very good movie, but you do have to compare it to the rest of Pixar's catalog. I'd put it right under Up. It's still a really good movie. It's just that when you compare it to the rest of Pixar's lineup, it's kind of hard to find its footing. Next, we have Toy Story 4. It's a bit better than the first one. As one of the best endings to any Pixar movie. It's kind of the anti-Toy Story movie, but it's still good, and it makes sense for the themes. Let's see. Yeah, there's a few problems. We need maybe a bit more Forky since he's amazing. That scene with the van is crazy. Other than that, it's such a good movie. It's the most overhated movie in Pixar's catalog, definitely. Next, we have Soul. I'd say Soul goes right under Coco. It's a really good movie. It's just that compared to a lot of other stuff, it can be a bit clunky in the script department. But this is the best directed Pixar movie, probably. So I'd have to give it right under Coco. Finally, we have Luca. It's right above Soul. This is probably the most fun that I've had with a Pixar movie since when they were done with the 2000s. It was so funny, so lighthearted. Yeah, the third act has a few problems, but it doesn't really care. But I don't care. It's such a fun movie. I'll put it right under Coco. And that's the end. Presentation mode. Here is the order. 1, 2, 3, 5, 10, 18, 24. Okay. 24, Cars 2. 23, Brave. 22, The Good Dinosaur. 21, Cars. 20, The Incredibles 2. 19, Cars 3. 18, Monsters University. 17, A Bug's Life. 16, Onward. 15, Up. 14, Finding Nemo. 13, Finding Dory. 13, Finding Nemo. 12, Toy Story. 11, Toy Story 4. 10, Inside Out. 9, Soul. 8, Luca. 7, Coco. 6. Toy Story 2. 5. Toy Story 3. 4. Monsters Inc. 3. Ratatouille. 2. The Incredibles. And 1. WALL-E! That's a weird way to say the Lego movie. You'll get the reference if you get the reference. These are some of my all-time favorite movies. I really love Pixar. Let's hope that Turning Red is really good. And see you next time.